Sometimes the people smiling at you across the dinner table are the same ones plotting to humiliate you. And sometimes they don't realize you can hear every word. My name is Michael Turner, and what I'm about to tell you is one of those family stories that sounds almost unreal. The kind of thing you'd expect in a drama show? Not real life, but trust me, I lived every second of it. It all started a few months ago when my wife, Lauren, asked me to attend a big family gathering at her aunt's place, the kind where everyone shows up. From loud uncles to opinionated cousins to that one relative who always thinks they're the smartest person in the room. And in this case, that was her cousin Brianna, the same woman who somehow managed to turn every conversation into a competition, every compliment into a hidden jab, and every family moment into a stage for her ego. Now, I've never had issues with her personally. I always kept things respectful, polite, and neutral. But she had this habit of acting like I was beneath her, like because I'm quiet. She assumed I'm clueless, and that day, I learned she had a whole plan to embarrass me in front of the entire family. Not knowing I understood exactly what she was doing. See, most people in Lauren's family don't know that I grew up bilingual, and while my English is what I use every day, I also understand Spanish almost fluently thanks to being raised around it. And Brianna, being the type of person who always overestimates herself, decided to run her little scheme in Spanish thinking I wouldn't catch a single word. We arrived at the gathering, and right away I could feel her eyes on me. That smirk she always had when she thought she was 2 steps ahead. And I brushed it off at first, figuring she was just being her usual self. But as the crowd grew, the conversations blended, and the noise filled the house. I heard her whispering with 2 of her friends near the kitchen island, and I caught my name. Not loudly, but just loud enough. Most people would have ignored it, but I've learned that when someone says your name in a low voice at a family event, it's either gossip or nonsense. And sure enough, when I shifted my position just slightly, pretending to look at the appetizer table, I heard her clearly say in Spanish, "Watch this. I'm going to ask him questions he'll never be able to answer. He always looks so lost. I'll make him look stupid and everyone will finally see I'm smarter than him." Her friends giggled, encouraging her, one of them even adding, "Do it during the toast. Then everyone will be listening." My jaw tightened, but I didn't react. Instead, I played dumb the same way she assumed I always was. It's funny how people reveal their true selves when they think you don't understand them. As the evening went on, she kept throwing little digs my way, nothing too obvious, just small comments like, "Michael, do you understand how this works?" Or, "Let me explain it in simple terms." And every time I smiled and let her believe she was winning. Lauren noticed something was off and whispered to me, "Are you okay?" And I just nodded because I didn't want to ruin her night. The real show was still coming, the moment Brianna had clearly been waiting for, the family toast. When everyone gathered in the living room, her aunt tapped a glass, the chatter faded, and people began to settle in. Brianna positioned herself right across from me, standing tall, chin up, ready to perform. She started talking about family, traditions, respect, all while giving me these little side glances like she was warming up for her big moment. Then, right when everyone was quiet, she switched back to Spanish, thinking this was her big dramatic move, and said loudly enough for the room to hear, "Everyone listen, I have a question for Michael. Let's see if he can handle it." A few relatives laughed awkwardly, not knowing what she said, but understanding the tone, bold, challenging, condescending. She then translated the question into English, but twisted it to make it sound like she was being friendly, innocent, even supportive, asking, "Michael, can you explain to everyone what you do at work? I mean, exactly what you do?" The way she emphasized exactly was a clear trap. She was expecting me to stumble, freeze, or look confused. But oh, she had no idea what was coming. Before answering in English, I looked her straight in the eye and responded in clear, confident Spanish, loud enough for the entire room to hear. "¿Quieres que explique mi trabajo? Pork también puedo explicar el tuyo, especialmente la parte donde planibas avergonzarme esta noche." Translation: You want me to explain my job? Because I can also explain yours, especially the part where you plan to embarrass me tonight. The room froze. Conversation stopped. Heads turned. Her eyes widened so fast I thought she might faint on the spot. She stammered, her face turning red, then pale, then red again, completely unable to speak. Her aunt looked confused and asked, "What did he say?" And one of Brianna's friends, the one who had encouraged her earlier, awkwardly whispered the translation. And suddenly the entire living room snapped to attention. I continued, still in Spanish, calm and controlled. Escuchado lo que dijiste en la cocina. Y que querías hacer cuidar mal en frente de todos, pense que sería justo aclarar lo que realmente estaba pasando. Translation: I heard everything you said in the kitchen. And since you wanted to embarrass me in front of everyone, I thought it would be fair to clarify what was really going on. Then I switched to English and addressed the whole family. I normally don't call people out, but insulting someone in another language and assuming they won't understand, that crosses a line. The silence in that room was almost shocking. You could hear the refrigerator hum from the kitchen. Finally, Brianna tried to recover, mumbling, "I didn't mean you misunderstood," but no one was buying it. Especially because she had been bragging for years about being the smartest cousin, the most educated, the most cultured, and now here she was, exposed by her own arrogance. Lauren, who had been watching the entire thing with growing anger, stepped forward and said firmly, "Brianna, this is exactly why people don't trust you. You pretend to be supportive, but you're always trying to tear someone down." Her aunt apologized on Brianna's behalf, embarrassed and clearly frustrated, while her mother pulled her aside, whispering harshly, the kind of whisper every relative recognizes as the "you're in deep trouble" whisper. After that, the whole mood of the party shifted. People approached me, some apologizing for her behavior, others laughing awkwardly, trying to shake off the tension. But the best part? One of the uncles clapped me on the back and said, "Son, that was the most entertainment we've had at one of these gatherings in years." When Lauren and I finally left, she squeezed my hand and said, "I'm proud of you," and I just smiled because the truth is, I didn't do it to humiliate Brianna, I did it to defend myself. Respect isn't a privilege. It's a basic courtesy, something every person deserves regardless of how quiet, humble, or unassuming they are. And that night, Brianna learned a lesson she clearly needed. Never underestimate someone just because you think they can't understand you. Sometimes they understand far more than you think.